Here's the story of how I snuck behind a bald guy and 3 of his kids and my sister's boyfriend in paintballing. I was with my brother, and my brother's friend in one team, and then the bald guy with 3 of his kids and my sister's boyfriend on the other team. The last match we had, well, it wasn't the last match, but it was one match where everything was relying on me. And when I say everything relying on me, I mean I was the one that was thinking the smartest of them all in my group at that time, at that moment, on that fucking battlefield. There was a bridge and there was a castle, and then we had the choice to either be on the battlefield facing the castle, or we are in the castle and facing the battlefield with the bald guy and 3 of his kids. So we took the chance to be in the castle first, facing the battlefield and facing the bald guy with 3 of his kids. And of course, the bald guy has been bragging about how it's unfair in paintball, because my team obviously had one more person than his team. And of course, he was complaining all games, all hours, about how it was unfair because he kept going out with his 3 little kids. Their team was on the wall on the other side and we were in the castle, and of course there were little windows you can aim through, and then there was a little staircase kind of thing where you climb, and there was a second floor. So one of my brothers took that stage in that little hut at the top. I myself was an absolute pussy in the castle, so I stayed on one of the outside windows on the side where no one can go, except for, if they actually pass through 3 of my brothers aiming at the window at the very front. So obviously, we had to die. We had the chance to kill that fucking bald man and his kids. So the whistle blew, and then all of our team had been shooting at the kids and the bald guy. And of course, they fucking hid behind the bloody canisters, the bubble wrap kind of thingamajiggy, everything. They were hiding behind there for 3 minutes, and they never advanced at all. The only time they actually advanced was when we stopped shooting, which, is kind of fun. But we kept picking the people one by one until there was one left. And the fucking cheeky bastard of a kid who was hiding under the bridge, and we finally got him. We all celebrated, hurrah, hurrah, blah, blah, blah. And then it was our turn to be on the battlefield, and that fucking other team had been in the castle. So we all walked to the wall, blah, blah, blah. We were strategizing against each other, blah, blah, blah. And then it was our turn to face the castle, and all of us looked right ahead of us, and all we saw was all his kids and the bald guy and our sister's boyfriend, because he was on the opposite team now because the bald guy was complaining. So all of them had their guns aiming out the fucking windows, just pre-aiming at us, and the whistle hadn't even blown. So as soon as the whistle blew, beep, we all ran to safety as soon as possible, because as soon as that fucking whistle blew, every single one person in that team shot a single bullet as soon as the whistle blew. So myself stayed at the middle of the center, at the start, and then my brother's friend, he was on the left side actually, and my brother was with him too. And 2 of my other brothers, they were hiding under the bridge, and I just thought to myself, let me just go on the bridge real quick, because there was blue canisters, blue containers. So I ran for it, and when I say I ran for it, I ran for it. It felt like I was in slow motion in a fucking action movie. So as soon as I got crouched, but kind of crouched beside the opposite side of the blue canisters, all I heard was pew 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 dang dang dang. They were shooting as much fucking bullets as they could at me, and I was hiding on the side of the canisters, and my god, they wouldn't have to stop shooting. They didn't stop shooting until it was fucking 2 minutes after. It took them so long to finally stop shooting at me and realise there were other people on the fucking battlefield shooting them. So as soon as they stopped shooting the canister, I saw an opportunity and I ran underneath the bridge with 2 of my brothers. And, a couple of minutes passed by, both of my brothers got out. But, however, the people in the castle, his kids and the bald guy, they never saw me under the bridge. So it was the perfect opportunity to wait a couple of seconds, well, kind of, minutes. Because I waited a couple of minutes because, they were aiming at my brother and my brother's friend in the middle. Because they were always in the middle. They were centered in the middle trying to, shoot at people in the windows. But it was fucking hard to shoot at people in the windows because, that's a very short space to get a paintball in the middle. So, I continue with my story. I was underneath the bridge and they didn't shoot at me once. They didn't know I was under there. They focused all their attention on on one of my brothers and my brother's friend in the middle. So I just thought to myself, why don't I point the gun at the ground? Because the paintball canisters, if you have it and you run with it and, you don't point your gun at the ground, the paint doesn't rattle as much if you point it to the ground. It is much more silent. So instead of running, I actually crouched and walked really fast. And so I was speed crouching, for example, with my gun facing at the ground. So the more focus they put in the middle, the more focus I could have to actually go behind the people in the church. So, I crouched really, really low. When I say low, I was basically squatting and walking at the same time. And when I got really close to the church, there was a little window on the side, and one of the bald guy's kids, he was looking outside that window. I don't know how he didn't see me, but he just walked away out the window. And I was like, how did he not see me? Because I was literally in plain sight on the side, and that kid was looking out the window. But as I said, the whole family on that team was looking in the middle. So the little kid was just like, no, I'm not going to watch there. I'm going to watch in the middle. So he left the window and I was like, yes, get in. And I kept walking, well, not walking, but, crouching, blah, blah, blah. And then I got to the door, right? And that was the very back of the church. And I could see everyone in there was just at a window. And there were I think there were 3 kids. No, actually, no, 2 kids there on the left side with my sister's boyfriend. They were all cuddled up in one corner. And then the bald guy was in the right. He was chatting with the actual instructor. And the instructor gave me a look. He just looked at me and, he was talking to the bald guy, who to aim for, what to do, what to strategize. And yeah, he just walked away slowly. As he walked slowly out of my way, I had my finger on that trigger. And as soon as that guy pulled away, I fired that trigger. I aimed right at that bald guy's ass, and I shot a paintball, and it literally went on his right cheek. I was hoping to get in the arsehole, straight in the middle, a bullseye, but I actually got 180, and I got it on the right cheek of that man. I gotta say, right, I had he gave the funniest reaction ever. He clutched his butt cheek as soon as it hit. And he just stood really he tensed up. He tensed all the way up. He put both of his hands on his ass and he said, that hurt. Who shot me in the ass? He shot me in the ass. And then, oh my God, I was smiling. You couldn't see my smile through the mask, but I was smiling. Both of my corner of my mouths were literally at my ears, man. So all his kids, his weird ass kids, they were all in the left with my sister's boyfriend, and I shot them as well, and they never saw it coming. Oh my God. But I got told off by the instructor. He said, you have to say bang, bang, bang. If you're that close, you don't shoot them. But as I totally forgot that, because that was a couple of hours ago. He said that a couple of hours ago, and I swear I've got dementia or something because I forgot the rules already. So I went to my team, I walked with my team, to my team, and then all of them were, cheering me on. They were like, yeah, One of my brothers said, I was wondering why you were walking out the church with that many people. Because, I snuck in. Oh, it's great, man. And then one of my brothers was like, I watched you all the way. You snuck in behind and shot them all. And the bald guy deserved that because he was a cocky, arrogant bastard who kept complaining every time his team were at fault of losing. And he deserved that butt shot, man. I could have done the dick shot if he was facing the other way. but I did the butt shot. I could have done the headshot as well, you know, right in the back of the skull, but I didn't do that. I did for the arse. So yeah. And if he's watching this, if he's listening to this, fuck you, bold man, and fuck your 3 kids. I don't like them. They broke the rules. They wiped the paint off their uniform. You deserve that shot in your fucking ass. And yeah, that's my little story of how I snuck, you know, behind a whole family. So yeah, sorry if it was a bit, you know, kind of fast paced, but yeah. There was nothing to explain except for that moment, because that moment I'm never gonna forget it, you know. That's gonna be in my head forever. But I'm so proud of myself, I actually snuck behind a whole family. So yeah, thank you for watching, thank you for listening to my beautiful voice. And yeah. Bye. Oh, before I go, make sure to like and subscribe. My goal is 200 subscribers by the end of the year. Alright then. Goodbye.